The idea that you can't get kicked out of healthcare because of a pre-existing condition, the idea that there's no caps, all of these things are things that we've all benefited from, particularly the neediest.
Donald Trump was the one that refused that the rainy day fund that SNAP had.
The Democrats refused to open the government.
No, they refused. There was a rainy day fund in place for that very reason of a possible government shutdown.
You do hear over and over and over again that Obamacare is terrible. You hear it every single time from Republicans. This is a mess. Why do subsidies need to exist? But I have yet to hear a robust plan from Republicans.
I want to hop into a CNN panel discussing the healthcare issue and MAGA's large unwillingness to help the working class and the poor. So if you can, take a moment, leave us a like on the video. We really want to get to 30,000 subscribers, and that helps us out a ton. And let's just get right to the discussion.
What is the plan that Republicans are putting forward? Because you do hear over and over and over again that Obamacare is terrible. You hear it every single time from Republicans. This is a mess. Why do subsidies need to exist? But I have yet to hear a robust plan from Republicans.
Well, generally, they want more free market choices. They want people to feel like that their insurance actually is usable. Right now, premiums are really high, deductibles are really high. I mean, I don't know about you all, but I know tons of people who have insurance that would tell you, it doesn't even feel like I have insurance at all. I pay. Look, I have a small business back in Kentucky. Every year I get a letter from the people that we get our insurance from. Your premiums that you pay for your employees are going up, 10, 15, 20%. I can tell you this, the insurance benefits never get better, and the employees that I have would tell you, it doesn't ever feel like they're, any better off because of it. We pay more, but the health outcomes and the insurance benefits they get aren't any better. In fact, sometimes they're worse.
I love that he's so close to getting it genuinely, but he just can't connect the dots. Let me explain it for you like you're 5, Scott. Healthcare premium costs do go up every year, and it's not because they're getting better or more services are added. No. This is capitalism, right? Inflation goes up year over year, meaning the cost for insurance companies go up year over year, which means to keep their bottom line, which is the top thing that matters in capitalism, they have to offer you the same services for more money out of your pocket every year so they get the same profit. Glad we identified 2 truths here that we can agree on now, right? Allowing a profit motive in healthcare, which inherently indexes the cost to inflation, is a bad thing for consumers because it leads to exactly this year over year that even Republicans like Scott Jennings are complaining about. And insurance companies as a middleman cause unneeded prices and increases in those prices without offering better services. What solves both of these problems? Single-payer healthcare does. It rids of the profit motive and it rids of insurers as the middleman. I'm glad we could save that for you, Scott, or solve that for you, Scott, and I'm sure we can count on your vote now on universal single-payer healthcare.
There's a lot of things in the ACA that Americans like, whether they are Republicans or Democrats or anything in between. The idea that you can't get kicked out of healthcare because of a pre-existing condition, the idea that there's no caps, all of these things are things that we've all benefited from, particularly the neediest amongst us. Look, I think this issue is not going to go away. And we're going to be talking about this because we're going to hear horrible stories. People are not going to be able to afford their insurance. I don't think even with subsidies, they're going to be able to afford the premiums that are hiking up 100, 200, 300%.
Wasn't Obamacare supposed to fix that?
When people, not without the universal, I mean, there's
Affordable Care Act.
Yeah,
Affordable was the first word.
The Republicans have been chipping away at the ACA, and I think this is going to be the death of the ACA, but it's also going to be the death of some Americans who don't go get screenings, who don't get diagnosed early enough in order to get treatment, who go in and instead of being stage 1 cancer are going to be stage 4 cancer. And we're going to hear horrible stories.
I hate this idea that conservatives bring up of, the ACA is magically supposed to fix everything, knowing that it doesn't because of them and it's been gutted because of them. None of these people even care enough to do the research, so a lot of them probably say it ignorantly. The ACA originally was it was essentially supposed to be a public option for all, which while not as beneficial as single payer, would have solved a lot more problems than it did in its final form. It got worked down to what it was because 1, Republicans refused to support that and they were trying to fight even this at all costs. They had to make a lot of concessions to even get this to pass. But then also many conservative Democrats didn't support it as well. We had like a map at the time that was disgusting. We had like pro-life Democrats in Indiana, I think Arkansas, all over. We had like pro-Iraq war Democrats, like just straight up like blue dog conservative Democrats across the map, right? It was madness. You should look into it. It's actually really interesting to read up on. So what was passed was what could pass, right? Not what would magically solve all the problems. And as was mentioned, it still was full of beneficial provisions, right? Pre-existing conditions, removing caps, balancing out the risk pools with steps in the right directions for the spending costs as well. It objectively cut the growth rate in spending, which Republicans have fought every step of the way to remove and undo without any solutions identified on their end.
Donald Trump was the one that refused that the rainy day fund that SNAP had.
No, Democrats refused to
out.
open the government.
No, they refused. There was a rainy day fund in place for that very reason of a possible government shutdown. 2 courts ruled against it. He has to do it. He still may not comply. Who knows? So don't say that's a Republican talking
Democrats
point.
voted
But back
to
to
keep the government shut down.
Obamacare, there's issues with it, but if you break it, you bought it. We can fix it within the system, or we can do something else. Your point about making it privatized, there's a lot of private healthcare insurance out there. None of it is affordable.
But
and if you think of getting rid of an affordable
you've been
option,
in
would make
Congress
it
and you
more
have
so.
seen vote after vote after vote to repeal Obamacare. And the question is to
75.
replace it with what?
Nothing, a concept.
Correct.
We're still hearing it. When 2 courts said to Trump, feed these children, he has appealed that.
Why can't those
Why
two
won't he
judges?
feed the children?
Why won't Democrats feed the children? Why don't we have? Hold on. Why don't we have 2 judges say to Democrats?
This is insanely stupid, Cope. Like, I'm sorry. I can't even be nice. This isn't even juvenile. It's just like void of intellect. As if you could still somehow make the case that it's the Democrats' fault. They unanimously supported legislation to fully fund SNAP. Republicans refused to bring that to the floor to vote. 2 Democratic judges told Trump he has to release the SNAP funds. He went all the way to the Supreme Court to stop it. If it were up to Democrats, SNAP would have been paid in full with or without the government shutdown or open. And for Republicans, they saw the opportunity to withhold something from the poor that, make no mistake, they've been trying to get rid of for a long time, that they don't even support in its existence. So they took the chance to do it and maybe, test what the backlash from it would be. It's that simple. MAGA showed their hand too obviously, too on the forefront and bluntly to backpedal and pretend there's still a but Democrats to be had. Literally nobody's falling for it except for the cult that desperately has to.